All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Who watched the parade? I definitely didn't watch that shit. I had way better things to do than watch that. Listen, I don't have time to watch anybody's parade. So, I'm definitely not watching that shit. I think parades are overdone, bloated. Sarita, let's go. Flown Grown. Laura, thank you for the 5x5. Lexi, Finley the Dog. Christian, Little Lone Prepper. Loretta, Maria, thank you for 5x5. SP, Cowboy, Rhonda, Renee, Blue, Colt, thank you for the 5x5. Strawberry, Dobie, Base, Krusty, WTC, Nasara, Joanne, Nomad, Ozark, Pop, Water, thank you for the 5x5. Shannon, Steve, Joshua, Gray, Crow, Susie, Evolving Media, another friend, thank you for the 5x5. Brian, Serena, thank you for the 5x5. Bad Botter, Steve, thank you for the 5x5. And Sean. Yeah, listen, people like, who's watching a parade? Who the fuck wants to watch that bullshit? We got so many other things to do on a weekend than sit down and go, guys, whatever time it started, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock. All right, 3 o'clock, I got to block out some time so I can watch this fucking bullshit parade. It's, like the Thanksgiving parade might be the only parade I still watch, and even then I miss it from time to time. It's cool, but I'm not watching. Listen, again, certain parades are worth the watch and others are not, right? So I don't know why they televise a lot of, like the Thanksgiving parade, I think is the only parade that should be televised because that's entertaining and fun. All the other shit, like the gay parade and the Negro and the Spanish and the Ching Chong Ching parade, fuck those parades. They're boring. They're all fucking full of shit anyway. They're like, we are about diversity. No, you're not. Sorry about that parade rant, but yeah. It was the most embarrassing parade ever. Zimbabwe put on a better military parade. It was boring. Yeah, listen, again, that's not a parade I would want to watch. Spitfire, thank you for the donation. I think Sarita gave a donation earlier. Thank you for that. If I saw that right. Yeah, right? Was it? Yeah, Sarita, thank you for the donation. So appreciate it, guys, for the donations. Yeah, so listen, we have bigger worries than a parade, Shannon's like, fuck parades. Yeah, seriously. Listen, just in general, parades are boring. They're just like, there are a bunch of people walking down the street waving and shit. And, they're not doing acrobats or flips or fucking some kind of, daring move. No one wants to hear it. At least with the Thanksgiving parade, even though some of the acts are very liberal-esque singers and shit like that, nonetheless, it's still entertaining to watch. Watchman says oil fields are in jeopardy. Gas crisis is coming. You know what? There was a side of me that was like, the oil industry is not going to be in crisis, but they're going to use this crisis to spike our gas prices, like undoubtedly. Listen, I also don't know where exactly the oil fields are in Iran, but I definitely, whiskey makes it better. Well, yes, Ron, the whiskey, bourbon, it all makes it better. If it takes you out of the loop, it makes it better. Detective said nature said, well, fuck, to be honest. Listen, people are good. Organizations are probably going to use this to push their agenda or start some shit, whatever it has. Like, it's like gas prices are going to spike. They're going to be like the oil fields in Iran, and then they're going to or the oil coming out of Iran. They're going to use some bullshit excuse to spike it. They always do. They always will. It's to line their pockets a little better, and then it comes back down again. But whatever. It's, So tonight, I was watching what was going on downtown, and I was going to go downtown, but, there's not much going on. There's some pushing and shoving, some harsh language being used, but nothing crazy. Nothing like the 2020 riots. So it is nothing like L.A. At least in L.A., they're giving the cops a run for their money. They're not doing that here. And again, New York City shut it down early. They saw that shit starting up in certain parts of the downtown. They were like, nope. They were letting them have it. I think Adams was like, yo, give it to them. And he gave it to them. So, yeah. America doesn't have the reserves we're being played. I guess. I mean, they say we have reserves, and some people say we don't. It is what it is. Again, we'll get through this too. You know, all of the panicking and oh my God, and we'll get through this. Everybody thought Mr. 19 was going to be it. Was going to be the virus to take us out. At one point, in the very beginning, I did, but then I started looking at China. I'm like, well, shit, if they're fucking, it's not wiping them out, then we'll be okay. This is just going to be the next tough couple of years, and it wind up being a year or a few months or whatever it was. So we'll be all right. No matter what happens, we'll be okay. We're not gonna crumble into the abyss. It's not gonna, it's not gonna do us in. We'll be all right with this one. Do I think this is going to spark the Third World War? Seemingly, Russia is just making, veiled threats again. They're like, oh, well, America better stay out of it. And China supplying Iran with drones, missiles, gas, money, things like that. But they're not directly getting involved. Yeah, thank you, the Watchmen. They made that. So if they made the announcement an hour ago, I learned this last night. Last night I saw an article pop up stating that they were supplying Iran with supplies. Well, like I said, ammo, missiles, missiles, drones, cash, and gas. That's what they were supplying them with. So again, not the end of the world. As long as no one directly gets involved, it's fine. Though Israel, about a couple of hours ago, maybe an hour ago, stated that they want the United States to get involved. They're pushing for the United States to get involved with this Iran shit. Right now, Iran and Israel are going at it equally. I mean, it looks like both sides are getting their asses handed to them. Now, Israel wants us to step in. I don't see Trump stepping in this one. Like, not at all. Therefore, I can see Israel creating a false flag for the United States to step in. Evolving media. I'm not worried about sleeper cells. Like, not at all. Not even a little bit. The sleeper cell thing, how do I say this without sounding too crazy? But I think the sleeper cell argument or conversation that keeps being brought up is a propaganda. And bear with me on this for a second. But for all of the things that could have happened since 9/11 till now, sleeper cells should have been letting us have it ever so often, but they're not. And anytime a big event happens, like what's happening now, people are worried about sleeper cells. Sleeper cells are people that are activated at any given moment and rarely activated on the moment of something big happening. And for example, I brought it up the other day in the firehouse. I was stating, with all of this fentanyl, for example, floating around the United States, being shipped left and right, the amount of fentanyl that it takes to take someone out or people out is very little. How come we're not seeing that attack? How come we're not seeing that in the subways? We're not seeing, siren gas and all this other bullshit, in play, being released in the subway system. We have had not one problem, but sleeper cells stopped working in the 90s. But all right, so people keep bringing up sleeper cells, and we haven't had anything happen. So I think it's like what the Egyptians used to do with the Egyptian people, and they kept for hundreds of years fear-mongering with the Egyptian people about their enemies. I forgot who their enemies were, but they're one enemy that they kept stating they're at the gates, and their gates for Egypt were hundreds of miles away from the actual city. And they kept telling them that they were being attacked. Meanwhile, there was no attack happening. They had one or two battles in that 400 years, and the Egyptians kept fucking lying to them about this battle, about these people knocking at the gates all of the time. So I think the sleeper cell or the activation I think that's a lot of bullshit. Because if that was going to happen, it should have happened a long time ago. Yeah, evolving media. They're gonna keep talking about it so that they get people or keep people on edge. But if again, sleeper cells or whoever it is, agents, if you will, should be setting it off, but they're not. You know, if there was any true bad actors out there, they would have already setting it off multiple times, and they wouldn't let up either. They wouldn't keep giving us these reprieves or to collect ourselves, and then like it doesn't make sense. Like, not at all. Someone said parade was patriot propaganda and recruitment. Listen, they definitely need it for recruitment. You're in. Yeah, I'm in New York City. Yeah. But no more worries about. Yeah, I would listen. I wouldn't worry about sleeper cells at all or any of that kind of shit right now. I think there's a bigger play, and a lot of the things that are happening are lining us up for something bigger. Now, definitely a false flag is probably going to happen soon, and I think Israel's going to be responsible for that false flag, and it's going to drag the United States into the Iran war, and people are going to fall for it. Maybe our government might fall for it. I don't know. Israel's pretty good at propaganda. So is Russia. Russia could also do some shit to set everything off. Though right now Russia is, they don't have a leg to stand on right now. Neither does China. That's why both are fairly quiet. I wouldn't say they're completely quiet, but they're fairly quiet. Kinito, if I said that right. Yes, the Iron Dome is failing. I don't think that it failed. It's failing. I saw some of the areas in that were hit. I was like, whoa, how did they get hit? They had the Iron Dome. Well, if you fly enough missiles at somebody, something's going to get missed, right? So that's normally how it works. But yeah, all that to say, guys, is that this is just another shit show that's going to unfold. But there is something I want to talk about that I think is that we should put on our radar. Now, I spoke about this before. I spoke about the last live stream. I think it was last Tuesday. I spoke about this. But one more actually interesting fact happened yesterday or 2 days ago about the next Mr. 19 event. But we will call this the Nipah virus event, right? So the Nipah virus event looks like it's going to happen soon. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year. Supposedly, it was supposed to happen last year of 2024 during July 4th of 2024, but it didn't happen. So people are definitely should pay attention to the mentionings of this virus called the Nipah virus. Now, before I get into the legit study or the legit, of what's going on, or the new Mr. 19 event that's coming down the pike, we're going to go over the Nipah virus. So the Nipah virus is a bat-borne zoonotic virus that causes Nipah virus infection in humans and other animals. Now, as of right now, the Nipah virus can only be transmitted from animal to human and not human to human. Now, hold on to that, what I just said. Numerous disease outbreaks caused by Nipah virus have occurred in Southeast Africa and Southeast Asia. Nipah virus belongs to the genus Henipavirus, along with the Hendra virus, which also caused disease outbreak. Now, the Nipah virus, as it stands, has a 75 to 85% mortality rate. The Nipah virus is highly contagious, deadly zoonotic virus that can cause severe disease in human with a mortality rate. Now, this is saying 40 to 75%. Other places you'll read will say 85%. So let's just say 40 to 85%. It is primarily spread through fruit bats and can be transmitted to humans through contaminated food or direct contact with infected humans. All right. Now, keep this in mind, that right now it can only pass from bat to human and not human to human. Let's go with the National Blueprint for Biodefense. I spoke about this Tuesday. This was a scenario of a biological threat against American citizens in 2024, July 4th. Now let's find page 3, which is actually page 9 via PDF. Now the scenario goes, and it states, I called the first hearing for a joint inquiry to order. 9 weeks ago, some nations or a terrorist group, we still don't know who, attacked the nation's capital, capital, and other U.S. cities with a biological weapon as we celebrated Independence Day. This is a scenario, guys. This infection agent they used killed at least 280,000 Americans and infected 400,000 more throughout the country in a single day. In addition, 200,000 dead and 800,000 sickened animals. These numbers will increase as the disease spreads. Many of our own colleagues and staff here in Congress fell ill and passed away. Coordinated attacks in allied nation in the days that followed killed tens of thousands more. So obviously the UK, France, those people were also infected by it. We are now hearing that the terrorists conducted smaller scale attacks in American cities and localities, prior to July 4th incident to test our defense and gauge our response. These smaller scale attacks went largely unnoticed. So obviously start paying attention to people being sick in clusters. You're looking for cluster sicknesses when anything involving this kind of stuff happens. If something like this happens, you're looking for a cluster sickness. So if you hear about 200 people in Oshkosh, Bagosh, Ohio, it could be the start of something. But you pay attention to it. Don't flip out and panic just yet, or at all for that matter. Laboratory tests confirmed that the Nipah virus caused the disease, but we still do not know what the method our adversaries used to infect humans and spread the disease among livestock in rural communities. Now, in this scenario, supposedly the bioweapon was genetically modified, downgrading from 85% mortality rate to a 40% mortality rate, so it didn't kill everyone off. I found that to be interesting. Now, keep that in the back of your head, because what I'm going to read next is a little alarming. Just, again, put it on your radar. Animals and people were sick for more than a month before we realized that this had happened. While the virus is in the same family as other common human and animals viruses, most American veterinarians and physicians have never seen Nipah virus before, which delayed recognition. The virus, which in nature does not spread easily among people, was genetically modified to increase its ability to spread from animal to animal, animal to human to human, while still retaining the mortality rate of over 40%. So the mortality rate was over 40%, but the Nipah virus is actually 40 to 85%. Sorry. It depends on the age bracket, and I'm starting to learn that. So the 40% is the age bracket of, let's say, 13 years old to 40, 45, 60. And then 60 up is the higher bracket of 85% mortality rate. So it depends on where you are. Also depends on if you have other medical ailments, if you are frail, if you have cancer, if you have a cancer treatment. These things are definitely going to affect your outcome in something like this. Now, why am I reading this again today? Well, because just yesterday or 2 days ago, they fast-tracked a vaccine or an arm ticket, They fast-tracked the arm ticket for guess what virus? The virus that has an up to 85% mortality rate, the Nipah virus. They fast-tracked this just this year. They did human trials last year. 2024 January, I saw an article, here it is. It was in University of Oxford. First in human arm ticket trial for deadly Nipah virus has been launched. Again, this article was published January 11th of 2024. So they started the inhuman vaccine trials last year, and this year they fast-tracked it. They only gave it a year and 6 months, or 5 months. They gave it a year and 5 months. But he said, I'm not taking the bait. Well, Aaron, it's not about taking the bait. People didn't take the bait on event 201, and then look what happened after that. Now, all I'm saying is put it in the back of your head. That's it. I'm not saying flip out and panic, but this is way too coincidental. Now, of course, now they have a fast-tracked arm ticket for the virus that kills up to 80% of people it infects. The Nipah virus is seen by the World Health Organization as a research priority because of its, get this, pandemic potential. Now, keep in mind, the Nipah virus has been around for some time. Let's see if I can Wikipedia this shit, because Wikipedia often tells you when it was discovered. If I can find it. Let's see, it doesn't say when it was discovered. But they did say in 2024 of July last year, there was a newly infected 14-year-old boy who died from a result of it. The symptoms of this, guys, is like every other fucking symptom. And they did, like, the symptom of Nipah virus is the same as all of them. Fever, headaches, muscle pain, vomiting, sore throat, dizziness, drowsiness, altered consciousness or altered mental status, atypical pneumonia, severe respiratory distress, and seizures. You also have acute encephalitis, which is an infection. So those are the more serious conditions at the bottom. The acute encephalitis, atypical pneumonia, severe respiratory distress, seizures, dizziness, drowsiness. Dizziness for the obvious reason, because you can go right through a fucking window. If I'm not mistaken, the Nipah virus was first class. The first case of Nipah virus was found in somebody's African country, of course. No, sorry, I take that back. It was found in 1998 when the outbreak occurred of a neurological and respiratory distress on a pig farm in Malaysia, the Peninsular Malaysia, I want to blame Africa for everything. The disease, Africa. Africa and China are the two I'll blame. This caused 265 cases where 108 people passed away. Again, that was back in 1998. The virus was isolated the following year, 1999. The outbreak resulted in the culling of 1 million pigs. In Singapore, only 11 cases, one person passed away, occurred in an abattoir, workers exposed to pigs imported from the affected Malaysian farms. And then they got a hold of it there. Outbreak was originally mistaken as the Japanese encephalitis. I don't even know what Japanese encephalitis is. But Japanese encephalitis is from Japan. And Japanese encephalitis is the infection of the brain caused by the Japanese encephalitis virus, or JEV, while more infectious results in little or no symptoms. Occasionally, inflammation of the brain occurs, and it occurs, looks like, suddenly. No shit. Never heard of that. Anyway, so guys, all of that to say is that they're definitely looking or angling to do some shit. That's all it is. So obviously, a lot of us are not taking this new arm ticket, but this arm ticket developed by scientists at the University of Oxford for the deadly Nipah virus may soon be available to patients. University of Oxford's arm ticket has been granted support from the European Medicine Agency's PRIME scheme, which aims to fast-track the delivery of treatment to people through closer collaboration with regulators. Now, regulators, Now, here's the problem, guys. Most arm tickets, they take a while to be created and then tested, right? So to create these things takes a little bit, then to test it takes even longer. And they tested it for about a year and 5 months, year and 5 months. And now they're fast-tracking this. They will only be fast-tracking this if they see something coming or they know something's coming. And so they lie to their doctors and their scientists as to why they have to fast-track this bullshit. Let's see where we are. The World Health Organization considers Nipah a research priority due to its pandemic potential. The virus is fatal in up to 85% of the cases, initially causing symptoms such as headaches, fever, pain, vomiting, sore throat, but later leads to fatal brain swelling. Nipah can be transmitted to human from animals such as bats or pigs or contaminated food. This is why you don't eat pork. This is another reason why I don't eat pork. Anyway, and can also be transmitted directly from human to human. Now, from human to human was a rare case, really rare. This article is saying now it can be directly transmitted from human to human. This article just changed how it was spreading. Before it was just directly, and everything you read or everything I read up until today said animal to human. Only genetically modified can be human to human, and that was from the National Blueprint, and that came straight out of the National Blueprint for Biodefense. What you call a guide that I just read from last year, scenario guide. So they said it could only be passed from animal to human, and when it was genetically modified, human to human. And this article is already exposing its hand by saying it can be passed from human to human. Anyway, University of Oxford is currently putting its jab for Nipah through phase 1 testing after promising early results. Bullshit. It is the first UK academic institute to access the prime scheme from the EMA. I don't even know what that is. Hopefully they'll tell me what the EMA is in a couple. Oh, the EMA is the European Medicine Agency. Excuse me. Oxford said the additional support offered to Prime was by grant on the basis of a compelling preclinical data and pre-preliminary clinical evidence, and will help to accelerate the development and regulatory approval of the arm ticket. It is in its letter of confirmation to Oxford investigator. EMA said Nipah disease in humans is associated with significant morbidity and a high mortality rate and consequent public health impact. The increase in frequency of human encounters with fruit bats and spillovers into densely populated areas is expanding opportunities for Nipah virus transmission, heightening its outbreak potential. So all I'm hearing here is get this shit out there because we want to make some money. We want to put it in the hands of the big pharmaceutical companies. So when this thing has an outbreak, we have something ready to rock and roll. And I guarantee you guys, 85% mortality rate. A lot of people who said they weren't going to take the arm ticket are going to take this arm ticket. Especially, this is a painful way to go. This one is a very painful way to go. Swelling of the brain, that's going to hurt. That's good. You're going to feel a certain amount of pain you've never felt in your entire life. Anyway, the Nipah virus was first recognized in 1999 during an outbreak amongst pig farmers in Malaysia. Wikipedia said 98. It was also found in Bangladesh in 2001, and nearly annual outbreaks have occurred in the country since. The disease has also occurred in eastern India. Evidence of the virus has been found in bat species in a number of countries, including Cambodia, Ghana, Indonesia, Madagascar, the Philippines, and Thailand. So all they're going to do now is they're screwing us. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're trying to, what do they call that? Predictive programming. That's all it is. Well, yes, Kane, definitely stay away from seed oil, but pig fat or pigs you're not supposed to eat. And you can get vitamin D from vitamins, and you can get vitamin D from the sun. So I would definitely stay away from pig fat, and especially if this is how they're going to start moving this thing around. I mean, listen, this is just something to put on your radar. That's all it is. I wouldn't flip out about it. I'm just looking at or connecting the dots and the coincidence in all of this coming together. I haven't died since 2020. I think we've all been doing good since 2020, but if this is something, if this is real, because listen, the other side of that, this could be built to get you nervous and scared. That's also that. There is a YouTube, I think it was Aaron, who emailed me, and he was saying that they want us to stay nervous and scared and pass this information along. I'm like, I get his point, and I get what he's saying about the whole predictive programming and having YouTube channels, talk about this stuff so that it's out there. But I'm like, this is for small. I got 100,000 subscribers. I'm not affecting the world at all, or my message is not getting across like that. So that, I get his argument, but not with this channel. As far as a distraction, it's not a distraction for us. Like I said in my video, guys, distractions are for the norms, for the normies. It's not for us. Something like a virus, yeah. Bacon and eggs are fine. I mean, listen, if you, I'm just not into pork anymore. It's funny too when you look at the carnivore diet and shit like that. You don't see pork in there. You only see steaks and chicken. A lot of diets where they talk about eating meat, you rarely see pork. And people are like, well, pork is full of protein. Pork is full of a lot of bullshit in it as well. You know, and again, scientists just last year released a whole finding on pork. Because somebody said pork is, you know, good and vitamin D, and pork is not good for you. Look up the, 70 days and pork is full of worms. There was a study that just came out about it. And I just find it funny. The reason why I find that funny is because in the Bible it states that you shouldn't eat pork. In the New Testament they switched that around saying you can. But in the Old Testament it says you cannot eat pork. With that, scientists 3,000 years later or 4,000 years later go, oh, guess what? You shouldn't eat pork because. So go figure. Scientists just figured it out. The Bible figured it out millenniums ago. So, yeah. Pork is nice. Don't get me wrong. A nice Cuban sandwich, man, that's a good sandwich. You know, or fucking nice crispy bacon, awesome. But other than that, so let's switch gears to what's going on overseas. Now, there's a lot going on between Iran and Israel. They're attacking one another. Apparently, the Iron Dome is not doing well or is not doing its job, but they're also being bombarded by Iran and the constant floating of missiles. So that's always going to be a problem. The airstrikes and the lobbing of the missiles are going back and forth. Again, Israel wants the United States to step in. The United States has no business stepping in this one. They need to sit this one out. I know a lot of people like I stand with Israel. I don't stand with any of these countries. I really don't. I could care less what happens to Israel. I don't care what happens to Iran. Matter of fact, Iranian people are against the Iranian government. Many Iranian people are against the Iranian government. So go figure that out, right? But turkey bacon's good, but turkey bacon is also loaded with a lot of shit. Just the way it's made. Long live Iran. There's always one. There's always one. Someone's going to be like, I stand with Israel. Then take your ass to Israel and help them fight. You know, the I stand with Israel or I stand with Iran, go the fuck over there and help them out then. You stand with Palestine? Go over there. You know, I'm tired of this. I stand with these people. What does that mean? How does standing with any of these people help them in the current situations that they're in? I don't get it. It's the dumbest comment people can make. And people about to type, I stand with it. Well, wait a second. It's dumb. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. What does standing with these people do? You're not doing a fucking thing. You know, people are like, I stand with Mexico. I don't care. And you know what? Fuck tacos. People like, I don't like tacos. I like burritos. I can't stand tacos. I'm not a taco guy. I'm a burrito dude. But still, that's a different conversation for a different day. Do not, standing with other countries, like with people like, I stand with Russia. You fucking simp. Standing with Russia. You shouldn't be standing with any other country other than your own. America, and America first and America only. Thank you, Penny. I just caught that. You stand with your country first and only. That's it. All this other, I stand with these other countries. What is standing with them going to do for them? Does it make you feel better when you say it out loud like a retard? We're like, I stand with Israel. What is that? And then what? That person over there in Israel is going to be like, oh my God, Joanne in fucking Ohio standing with us. You know how stupid that sounds? It's so moronic. And then people change their fucking filters and they go, I'm with Israel. Okay, and then what? Like, what the fuck? Restore Justice. Restore Justice just said there was a No Kings protest in my small town in Michigan. There was a No King protest all over America, and it was impressive to watch morons come out of the woodworks and become morons. Groundhog, I stand with little Mobutu. We should all stand with Mobutu. At the very least, him. If you're standing on American soil, you're not standing for Jack. Well, yeah, you can't stand with anything else. Again, standing with fucking another country is just dumb. You know, I'm like, if you're not, and again, if you're gonna go over there and fight, I get it. That makes sense. You know, you're like, I stand with Ukraine, and then you go to Ukraine and help fight. More power too. You're putting your money where your mouth is. But a lot of people are not doing that. They're just saying it because it makes them feel better. And then other people look and go, oh man, did you see that Kevin standing with Ukraine? Good for Kevin. Stop being, like that whole I stand with you shit is pussified vaginaism, persona, vaginosis. That is the most vaginosis shit you can ever do. Because you're not doing anything. You're sitting in your chair, going like this, and then that's it. And then you turn your computer off or you shut your phone down and you start watching a Netflix movie, forgetting about all the bullshit that's going on over there. Doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Fuck those things. Fuck that bullshit. Fuck the filters. Fuck the people. Someone said I stand with spam. There's always one. There's always one. Who the fuck? Detective Nature's like, who the fuck is Mobutu? Detective Nature, you're new to this channel. It's a long-standing character on the show. And so is Dickface Johnny. You might hear him come up again. I stand with tacos and pickleball. Ouch. But a country that's united can never be defeated. Iran? Iran's not united. But okay. All right. I'm not going to argue with you. Oh, so last night, man, at the firehouse, we're backing the rigs in from a run, and I see out of the corner of my eye headlights. Now, the street I'm on, the traffic goes south. Right, it's a one-way street, two-lane, one-way street going south. And at the corner of my eye, I see headlights coming up towards us. And I look, and I'm like, oh, shit. And I see a fucking car coming up the one-way. Then I see two cars coming up the one-way. And this one car smashes into another car head-on, and it gets airborne. I see the fucking top of the car. And then it drops down, and the kid speeds off. Nonetheless, they wind up catching this guy. And all hell broke loose in front of the firehouse. It was the most funniest shit I've ever seen. One guy is screaming like a fucking girl. He's like, yo, they broke my car. I'm a hard-working man. No, you're not. You're a drug dealer. I'm a hard-working man and from Ohio. And they smashed my car. I want to leave my car. And he blocked the street with his car. Like, I don't know what point he was trying to prove, but he's screaming and he's yelling. And I'm coming over and I'm like, yo, cause you got to move the car. We got to run. You got to move out of the way. I ain't moving shit. And he's, I get it, he's mad. He's yelling. At one point, I'm like, yo, why the fuck are you yelling at me? I said, you need to move the fucking car. We get a run. We're going to push it out of the way, and shit's going to get worse. I said, what do you want to do? He's like, I'm hurt. I got sickle cell. I don't know what the fuck sickle cell had to do with him in a car accident, but he bought it. I'm like, you want an ambulance? He's like, yeah, but I'm not getting an ambulance until my car's fixed. I'm like, I said, who the fuck is going to fix your car in the middle of the street? What do you want us to do? So, it goes back and forth, and another dude comes over and starts yelling at him. He's like, yo, you making a block hot? Get the fuck out of the way with your fucking car. And the kid didn't know what to do, the sickle cell kid. He's like, and so they moved the car out of the way, and then traffic started flowing. It was like all hell broke loose last night. And then there was a fucking fight across the street, just watching that shit. It was, my firehouse front door can be very entertaining on a Saturday, Friday night. Very entertaining. And that is not the first time traffic or cops have chased cars on that block. That's like the third or fourth time in my career. But it's always fun to see. Always fun to see the insanity that unfolds. But anyway, that being said, let me read off a couple of more notes before we go off the air. I will not have an angry truth tonight. So this is a Saturday night. It was, kind of updated that needed to be. I should be on either Monday night or Wednesday night. I'm probably going to be on Monday night because I'm working Tuesday night. So let's get some of these updates out of the way. So again, guys, keep in mind they had a. We're going to recap a little bit. They had a scenario-based PDF come out last year based on the Nipah virus that was genetically modified. They have fast-tracked an arm ticket for the same virus. Just keep tracking what's going on with this Nipah stuff. Just track it for now. Don't do anything about it. Don't get all fucking crazy and paranoid. But just put it on your radar. So, guys, coincidentally, another coincidence, if you might add, a new stealthy nuclear cruise missile was unveiled by the U.S., promising to level cities. All right, the United States has unveiled a city-destroying nuclear cruise missile after years of clandestine development. The first glimpse at the AGM-181A long-range standoff, or also known as the LRSO, showcased a sleek, stealthy weapon engineered to outsmart modern air defense, boasting a range that reportedly surpasses 1,500 miles. It will be equipped with the W-84 thermonuclear warhead, featuring upgraded yield, safety, and security features. Yes, they are they're reporting this like they're reporting a new car. But the updated features of upgraded yield, safety, and security features. Now, what is upgraded yield? Does that mean increasing the power to the warhead as they see fit? Because that would be pretty interesting. But anyway, the missile is believed to have an adjustable... Okay, there it is. Just answered my own question. The missile is believed to have an adjustable nuclear yield between 5 to 150 kilotons. That is a snazzy feature, enabling uses from tactical effects to obliterating cities. So it could be a tactical nuke or it could be an all-out weapon. A yield of 150 kiloton is 10 times more potent than the bomb unleashed in Hiroshima in August of 1945. The LRSO is slated to supersede the Cold War era AMG 86B and will be deployed by both the upcoming $858 million B-21 Raider, I think that's the plane, and the upgraded B-52 bomber. I think both of those are planes. Air Force officially confirmed that the LRSO has already completed a series of successful flight tests and is scheduled for frontline service by 2030. Why fucking tell us about it if it's not coming out in 5? I'm a little excited about this feature here. That yield, the upgrading yield. An adjustable nuclear yield. That is a snazzy feature. Again, they're selling this shit like we're gonna buy this thing. We're gonna like, oh man, we can adjust the yield of a nuclear weapon. I'm gonna get one of those. Anyway, the project has been a top priority for the United States Air Force, and the new LRSO is anticipated to replace the U.S. only nuclear-armed cruise missile, the AMG 86B, air-launched cruise missile, also known as the ALCM, which has been in service since the latter days of the Cold War. The missile features an inverted tail and appears to have a trapezoidal fuselage, a cross-section designed with a wedge-like nose. At this stage, it's unclear how closely its revealed design will resemble the final product, as some features are often omitted for initial release. This new advanced missile is set to play a pivotal role in the U.S. strategic defense, boasting stealth capabilities and resistance to sophisticated electronic attacks, otherwise known as EMP bombs or missiles or guns or whatever it is they're going to aim at it. So that is pretty snazzy, man. I'm a little excited about that. I can't wait to see that in use. Never, fucking never. So as of right now, Israeli Iran update. Israel military was said to be hit by Iran Defense Ministry. Israel military says it hit Iran Defense Ministry headquarters and nuclear weapons linked sites. There was also a rumor yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see it, but if anybody knows about this rumor, can you please confirm? There was supposedly one of the sites hit in Iran, has a nuclear or radioactive leak going on right now in Iran. That's a rumor that was being tossed around on the internet. Massive impact as Iranian missiles hit central Israel. Several explosions were heard in Iran capital of Tehran. That was last night or early this morning. Israel urged the United States to join the war with Iran. Whatever. Every time I read that, I get annoyed. I'm like, you started some shit, and now you want us to jump in. Yo, we set it off. Can you come help? Then the the State Department says U.S. citizens should depart Iran immediately. I don't know why they're still there. Why would you? Anyway, if you're still there, serves your ass right. New wave of ballistic missiles have been launched from Iran towards Israel. Supposedly, there were 20 injuries and 6 people passed away. The 6 people that are reportedly passed away were a family of 6. If I'm not mistaken. That's what I read. But again, those initial reports can be wrong or could be off. Who knows? Multiple fires at the Hatifa refinery in northern Israel after Iran ballistic missile attack. This all happened last night. Again, 20 injuries, 6 people passed away. It could be more. Again, these reports were earlier this morning. These reports were early this morning, so whatever. We shall wait and see. Other than that, I'm not worried about the Third World War or anybody's fucking nuking us. This is just going to be another fucking bullshit lobbing of the missile fest. Again, if China grows balls or Iran wants to set it off, they can. Iran does have nukes. The whole enrichment of their uranium, they wanted to build nukes. But there's been an ongoing rumor for the last 20 years that Iran has had their hands on nukes for quite some time. If I'm not mistaken, it was either given to them or they bought it when Russia collapsed back in 80, whatever it was, right? So they've said they've been sitting on them for a while. Some people are asking, well, why don't they use them? I think they only have like 1 or 2, and they don't want to use them yet. But they want to enrich uranium to make their own. So go figure. And I think they have warheads. I don't think they have nuclear missiles. I think they have warheads. But again, that was a rumor that's been going around for the last 20, maybe 30 years now, actually. Maybe 30 years now. So we shall see where that goes. Laura, they did say that about Iraq too. But with Iraq, they started that bullshit as the Iraqi war started. Then all of a sudden they had nukes and they didn't. But Iran would make sense, especially being that they bought it from the Russians. And again, that's if it's true. I shouldn't have said they haven't. I should have said that they're rumored to have had nukes since the fall of Russia. Excuse me. 37-year-old, too old to be drafted. What happens? Yeah, we're all too, well, I think most of us on here are too old to be drafted, right? Unless they up the drafting age, right? Or lower the drafting age. Up it, right? So if they go to like 45 or 50, yeah, then we're fucked. But they might raise the age of drafting, because as of right now, it's either 70% or 77% of 70% of kids, teenagers, are not eligible to join the military. Right? Northern Hillbilly. Listen, it could be a lie, it could be true. This didn't come from, if I'm not mistaken, these reports didn't initially come from the United States. These reports came from, wasn't the UK, and it wasn't Israel. It was somebody else who gave this information. If it came from Israel, I wouldn't believe it. I'll tell you that much. Israel would be using that as a lie. But I forgot who it came from. It was an intel that came from, maybe it was France. But it was intel that came from, again, this is years ago, and this is a rumor. So I'm probably wrong on this, but it would make sense that they bought it and they're holding on to it. Someone says I'm too fat. Well, not that I'm, you know, it's a movie. But remember the movie, The Tomorrow War? That was a good movie. I thought that movie was fucking on point, man. You know, the beginning was kind of stupid, but the rest of the movie was good. By the way, speaking of movies, Spaceball 2 should be coming out next year. So that should be fun. I'm dying. I'm dying. And Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement for the movie. They've been trying to get Rick Moranis out of retirement for the last 10 years or so to appear in a couple of the movies like Ghostbusters and shit, and he would not come out of retirement, and he's coming out of retirement for Spaceballs 2. So that should be a fun time. I actually can't wait for the movie. So there is a teaser trailer out. You can type it up and you'll find it. But yeah, I fought in South Vietnam. Very good, Thomas. Thank you for your service. I would assume so, right? 79 years old? Yes, and 28 years later is coming out in 6 days. Thank you, Seuss, for bringing that up. Can't wait for that. Yeah, but yeah, that Spaceballs and fucking 28 years later. Actually, I Am Legend 2. I'm waiting for that. Michael B. Jordan's going to be in it too. It should be a good movie, and they're taking their time writing it, so it better be a phenomenal movie. But yeah, that's my fucking report for today. As far as Third World War and all that other shit, man, I hate to say it, but I don't see that happening. Yes, Monger, and now that Moranis is older, I can see why he wants to get back into it. Flat Earth is gaining too much ground, so they had to release Spaceball 2. No, first of all, Flat Earthers, listen, Nomad, if you're a Flat Earther, I'm so sorry for you. But the whole Flat Earth shit it's insanity to me. And that's the thing, guys. The wedge that's being driven between us on everything is why we're going to continue to be in this boat of not liking one another. We will forever be in this boat of not liking each other. Forever. Because we're always going to fight about something. Always. Right? Like the old meme goes, this is a rock. I'm going to leave this here and see how many people argue about this rock. Right? And you'll probably have archaeologists that are looking at it and like, oh my God, that's not a rock. That's a scepter top. Or someone's like, that's not a rock. That's a weapon. People will argue about everything. About everything. So we are continuously going to always be at each other's throats. We're going to be at each other's throat about Earth being flat or not. We're going to be at odds and oh, Trump's the greatest president ever lived. And people are going to be like, no, he's not. Some people think Biden was the greatest president ever lived. I heard somebody say that, and I think if I was able to reach them, I would have threw my shoe at them for saying that shit. But we're always going to be at odds with one another. That's just what it is. Right, can't have a pole shift if the Earth is flat. Exactly, Chris. But that's where we are right now. We got people who stand with Iran. We got people who stand with Israel. We got Mexicans in this country who fled their country to come here to then get sent back home, but fly their flag from a country they ran away from. And flying the Mexican flag here because they're Mexican pride. Or Mexican proud, excuse me. Take your proud ass of Mexican and your chalupa and get back to the fucking the border. Go back across, come across the right way. Listen, you can't go anywhere else in the world and pull the shit that the Mexicans are pulling off here. I mean, granted, like other places, they're giving them the business if you cross the border illegally. And here, we're just sending them back across. And people like, that's kidnapping. How do you kidnap somebody back to their own country? Can someone explain that logic to me? How do you kidnap a person and bring them back home? You know? That's like somebody kidnapping your kids and dropping them off in front of your doorstep. I kidnapped your kids and brought them back home to you. What the fuck? You know, it's all a ruse, man. All of this, I think, is bullshit. Israel, they're playing the woe is me card because they always play the woe is me card. Like, oh my God, woe is me. All the Muslims, they hate us. Well, no one told you to move into the middle of fucking, Arabville, and I get it that it's their land, but still, that's like me moving in the middle of Alabama and going, this is my papa's farm. My papa used to live here. His soul and spirit is here, and here I shall be. And I'm surrounded by fucking, Nazis and KKK and Aryan Nation. Doing it to yourself, man. But other than that, also, guys, another because someone just joined the Angry Truth on Rumble. I'm gonna start putting director's cuts on Rumble because I put 2 videos on YouTube and they demonetized both videos. In fact, one video they did a partial block. So, and a partial block means it can only be shown in certain parts of the world or whatever that is. And it was the AI video that I put up there. So, so yeah, I'm gonna start putting director's cuts, like I said, or unedited versions on there, so that you can get the full extent of that video, the full feel of that video. Because you can't say 90% of the shit that you could say on Rumble, you can't say on here. And even if you try, they block your shit. So it is what it is. Not making much money on Rumble, like pocket change, like $5 a month. Yes, but other than that, yeah, I'm definitely not bringing it in. But I'd rather put more information or correct information or true information on Rumble, so that you guys can get the information from there, because YouTube's going to stop you with every fucking chance they can get. But they seem to be doing a good job of it. AI blocked his video. Irony. Yeah, right, imagine. Yeah, and so they do have an AI scanning thing, like it scans videos, and if it doesn't like it, it blocks it. And it does, like, the blocking shit's crazy. Because when I looked at it, I'm like, the fuck does that mean? And I look into it, I'm like, partially blocks your videos from different regions of the world. It can still play, you can still get paid in certain areas, but other areas you will not be shown. And then the other video I did on the kids dancing at their graduation, well, because I was picking on Negroes acting like animals, I got demonetized on that video. I got demonetized on the AI video, and I just got demonetized on the video where Joe Rogan interviewed that guy talking about how all of this was a setup, what's going on in LA, right? So that got demonetized too. 3 decent videos demonetized. So again, go figure, right? This is the game they play. This is where it is. So I have to start putting some of these videos on Rumble, so at the very least you guys can watch it there. Right, again, not about money, it's about sharing my information and trying to get it as correct as I possibly can. Because things do change on a fucking hourly basis, and what's going on in Iraq, what's going on in Iran and Israel is changing by the hour. Because every time I open my phone up or I get a new notification, some new shit just went down. $5 can buy you a cheap hooker. Yeah, with AIDS and scabies and the whole 9 yards. I don't want that. Not at all. I'm out of that bullshit. $5 hooker? Yeah. Yo, speaking of $5 hookers, I saw a mattress the other day, because we have to deal with these mattresses on a daily basis in the fire department. This mattress was so disgusting that if I fell on it, I would have told guys move on without me. I would have been like, leave me here, save yourself. It was the most disgusting fucking mattress I ever seen. It had bed bugs and some other shit crawling on it. There was a stain. I couldn't identify what the stain was. I don't know if it was blood or oil because it was so black. It was disgusting. It was like, oh man. I'm like, yo, if I fall on that, guys, just leave me to die. Just make a t-shirt and say, we remember Charles. Because fuck that, dude. I was staring at that mattress like, what the fuck? Me and another dude was staring at this mattress. What the fuck is that? Why is it? Yo, I'll go into a burning building all fucking day. I am not touching those fucking mattresses, man. That was the most disgusting shit I've ever seen. It looked like it was moving, and I don't even know why. Maybe there were rats in there? Who the fuck knows, man? But that was fucking bad. Every now and again, we have to deal with shit like that, man. I'm just like, I'm out on that. I'd rather go into a fucking fully involved apartment than deal with that shit. No dice, man. I'm out on that shit. Fuck them, fuck that. I'm like, yo, just leave me here. You know? In memory of Jason, the Angryprepper, or the Angry Firefighter, whatever you want to put. So it's fucking gross, dude. We were staring, me and what's his face? We were staring at it in disgust. We were just like, what is it? The crazy shit is somebody was laying on that fucking mattress. They were laying on it, making love or giving birth to babies. I don't know what was going on that mattress, but there were bed bugs on it because it was wrapped in plastic. The city ordinance now, you have to wrap mattresses in plastics because of bed bugs. Oh shit, dude. Maggots the size of rats. Monger, it could be that. It could be maggots the size of rats. You are right. I don't know what the fuck that is or what it was, but it was disgusting. I've seen some disgusting shit in my time. That was fucking bad. That was one of the worst things I've fucking seen in my entire life. Anyway, that being said, guys, I'm going to go off the air now. I will see you guys most likely Monday night for the doubleheader. Like I said, I'm working Tuesday, and then hopefully I should be on regular time Thursday after that, and Wednesday I should have a Maple Week report. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me on a Saturday night, as always. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Northern Hillbilly, nice one.